breaking news that we are getting on the broadcast. Now, after Congress MP Manish Tewari raised questions over the transparency of Congress President polls, now Shashi Tharoor has backed that. He has said that certainly he thinks it is very important that there is transparency on the electoral rolls. If that is what Manish Tewari had intended and asked for, then he's sure that everyone will go ahead and agree to this. Everyone should know who can nominate and who can vote. Now remember, Manish Tewari had asked to make the electoral rolls publicly available. To actually bring more context to this input, I am now joined on the broadcast by my colleague Pallavi. But before that, let me quickly go across to the reaction of Shashi Tharoor first.
Certainly, I think it's important that everybody should have transparency on the electoral rolls. If that's what Manish has asked for, then I'm sure that it's a principle that everyone will agree. Everyone should know who can nominate, who can vote. There's nothing wrong with that.
Pallavi, what should we make of this statement by Shashi Tharoor?
Well, I mean, I think it's very, very interesting. And let's not forget, Shashi Tharoor too is a part of what is called the G23. And they are the ones who have been pitching for elections. They're pitching for transparency. Yesterday, of course, whole of yesterday, Griha, there was a speculation whether he's also going to put his hat into the ring and going to be contesting. No clarity on that yet. But you know what's going to happen now as the Congress moves towards elections, which are going to take place on 17th of October, the pressure is going to mount on the Election Commission of the Congress party, which has been set up to ensure that, one, there is transparency. And secondly, more important is that one has an idea. The candidates also have an idea on who their voters are going to be. Otherwise, it's going to end up looking like a sham, a kind of a smokescreen, and a pretense at democracy.
Absolutely. Pallavi, hold your thoughts there, and quickly bringing in my other colleague Neetu on the broadcast as well. Neetu, the fact that, Shashi Tharoor said that in a forum, that like Pallavi rightly pointed out, he's part of the G23, that entire group of 23 leaders who wanted that organizational overhaul in the Congress party. We have Anand Sharma, we have Manish Tewari now, we have, of course, Shashi Tharoor now joining in the fray.
Correct. He is also somebody who wants changes from within the organization. That is something which he had said, repeated today, also saying that if he has any problems, he will try to fix it from within the party by raising it within the party. Now, all that he has been saying is that, yes, we need a free and fair elections. That is necessary in a country like India, which is a democracy. We need a democratically elected party. So he says that all this talk about, and if more people contest, that will definitely do good for the party, because there will be a lot of attention towards it. So today also he did not say that whether he will contest or whether he will not contest for the post of the Congress party president. What he said is that he has not yet taken a decision, and once he take a decision, he will allow that on. And on question of Manish Tewari's statement, what Mr. Tharoor said is that he did not hear the statement, but he also believes that the electoral roll should be transparent so that everybody will know who is nominating. So that is something which Mr. Tharoor has also said. And he also said that according to his knowledge, there are at least 2 to 3 people who will be contesting in these elections. One interesting question was when posed to Mr. Tharoor, that there are talks that there should be someone from the Hindi belt who should be the president of the Congress party. To that he said, an Indian is an Indian, so anybody can speak Hindi, and in today's time in politics you need to talk in Hindi and campaign in Hindi. Even if somebody from the Hindi belt is needed, that's well and good. That person should be elected. So he's saying that a free and fair elections should be held, and that is something which will bring in a lot of change.
Right. Pallavi, essentially all these leaders are batting for a well-defined electoral college. Now, when it comes to the Congress presidentship elections, what has been the norm in the past that has led to all these leaders really raising questions over it?
The fact that there have been no elections in so many years. I mean, Sonia Gandhi is the longest lasting president of the Congress party, and it's all been without election over 19 to 20 years as a party president. I think the G23 members really, Griha, are using this as an excuse to hit back with one, being left out in the scheme of things. Second, the angst against Rahul Gandhi's team. They were just looking for that one weapon on which they could hit out on. And Congress party has been, for some reason or other, been postponing the elections. It will be fair to say that substantially under pressure from the G23, that the Congress has finally decided a schedule. Now the next step will be to ensure that whoever becomes the president, and if it's Rahul Gandhi, it's actually done through a proper procedure in which there's transparency, in which the people are allowed to file their nominations, and the candidates are also aware of who their voters are going to be, or whether it's just going to be reduced to a show of strength or just to be a kind of a sham.
All right, Pallavi, thank you so much. Also, Neetu, I'll just take this across to Mr. Shehzad